Hello, everybody. Welcome in. This is Misty Miller. We had a little
Hi.
bit of technical difficulties coming in,
Yes, we did.
but she found
Technology.
but she found her headset. So today is Saturday, April 12th, 2025. Welcome to Missing PNW Crimes Revisited. I am your host, Samantha, and our guest, like I just said, is Misty. Please welcome her and yeah, be respectful and chat. She is here to share new information that a lot of people don't know about. And yeah, we're just going to sit and talk and relax. She is a little bit nervous, but she is happy to be here and, talk with all of us. So again, please be respectful. And a little bit of a disclaimer, like everything that's being said here, this is, Misty's story. This is, what Misty is saying is what she, witnessed, what she heard, what she saw, what happened. So I just want to let everybody know that um, this is Misty's story that she's going to be telling, and we're going to go back and forth, and I'm going to ask her some questions, and we're going to relax and talk with everybody. So, who's all here? The real Brenda. Thank you so much for coming in, and thank you, mods, for coming in. Sarah Suspicious and Jemima. We've got Angie Willett, Rizzo. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Mama B is here. Good to see you. Pretty Assessor. Thank you for coming in. Thank you guys always for coming in and supporting Monkey, because that's why we're here. We are here to bring awareness for Michael Joseph Vaughn. Hello, Lynn. Good to see you. And let's see who else is here. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. It's been a difficult month for Misty. It's, been really stressful. So I am very happy that she agreed to come with everything that's been going on. Toaster, love the name. Good to see you. Z, good to see you. Looks like that's everybody that's here for now. I normally put up Michael's flyer for just a second. Let everybody know Michael Vaughn was abducted July 27th of 2021. There are 4 named suspects in Michael Vaughn's abduction, and that is Sarah and Stacy Wandra, Adrian Lucian, and Brandon Shurtliff. And if you have any information regarding Michael Vaughn's abduction, please call the tip line at 208-642-6006 or email findmichael@fruitland.org. No tip is too small. Let law enforcement determine, whether or not your tip is a valid tip or not. But so, hey, we got it worked out. Your headphone's working.
Yay. Took a
Yeah.
minute.
Yeah. I told her, just relax. It's okay. We got a minute. Unnamed True Crime, thank you for coming in. So on February 24th, I went live with Brandon Shurtliff. And on February 26th, Brandon left Livingston, Montana to go to Missoula on a ski trip. His friend Eric came and picked him up from Livingston. And yeah, Brandon ended up trying to make it back from Missoula, and that didn't happen. His friends never brought him back home. And then he decided to go do some work with Eric. And yeah, So why don't you tell us what happened on March 8th? Because I know I woke up to a message from you and you were like, guess what?
Yes, I was. I was like, guess what? Guess who just knocked on my door? My parents' door. So I had a sheriff, the detective from Fruitland, I can't remember her name, and then the prosecutor. They all came to my door. My kid answered the door, same with my mom. Um, they asked for me, they didn't ask for Brandon, FYI. They asked me if I knew anything. They and like I've been telling everyone, what I know is what I know. From what I know, he never met the kid and he didn't even know what he looked like until um
Yeah.
the posters started coming up. That's from what I got told.
When they were asking you
So,
questions about like what you knew, what kind of questions were they asking you?
they were like, "Can you get a hold of him? Do you know where he is? It's really important." We got one really good plea agreement for him. I was like, "Oh yeah, what's that?" And they told me that he was allowed to come home and be with the family. But coming to find out, it's getting the death roll off of it.
Oh, to get the death penalty off the
Instead of
table?
what they told me in
So
person.
there was a plea agreement that they were trying to offer Brandon,
Yes.
and it was to get the death penalty off. Were they still did they mention anything else besides the death penalty or
They they just told me, to be honest, like I said, they also told me he was able to be coming home to be with the family. So
okay.
they say one thing and do another.
So what was Brandon going to
I'm
have
not,
to do in order to um what was Brandon going to have to do in order to get this plea agreement? What were they
um
wanting him to do?
just talk and get his side of the story like everyone else has been trying to. I got him really close too. And
Right.
then mhm. But he
I
does have an attorney
yeah.
now, you
You
guys.
told me that. You said that you had talked to Brandon's mom?
Yes, I have. I haven't for the past few days because ever since I lost the babies, I was pregnant with twins. Um,
I'm so sorry. I'm just gonna give you my condolences. I didn't know if that was something you were gonna share or not
um,
on the live, so I'm really sorry to hear about that. My condolences go out to you and to Brandon, and, I know you've had a really rough week and stuff, and I really appreciate you coming up and talking. So, they came to your door, the prosecutor from
yes,
Fruitland.
from another state. Yes,
Yeah, it was the state's prosecutor, the a law enforcement agent from Fruitland, and the sheriff from Livingston, correct?
yes.
Okay. And then they're offering this plea deal to Brandon. You do this or else what?
They just said that charges will be coming, and when they come back, there will be charges. But they can't really say much. But I do know Brandon is a sweet, innocent little boy too. He wears his sleeve on his he wears his heart on his sleeve. Sorry if I can speak. I'm still
You're
kind
fine.
of nervous
I know.
about doing this. Um, but he I seen him around people. I seen him around kids and stuff. I feel for the lady's mom or the kids' oh Jesus, I can't it's me man. I can't speak tonight.
It's okay.
But I feel for the little kid's mom because if that was me, I would want the same thing as she does.
Yeah. Yeah,
But I
Brandy
did
just
let everyone I did let everyone know because I feel connected with that little kid. I never met him, but I feel connected because we have the same birthday.
yeah, that's right. You and Brandon and Monkey all
And
share the
then
same birthday.
June 24th, yes.
That's crazy.
But I did promise one thing, I was to do what I can, what I know. I'll help as much as I can
Mhm.
too. But I have a lot going on in my life too, as of right now. Like I just lost twins on Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a week today.
Yeah, it
Yeah, I'm
has.
sorry, honey. Um, so the plea deal, I know didn't they want him to produce something in order to get the plea deal?
So they just told me that they have a really good, a hell of a great deal of a plea deal. They didn't say what, they just said, like I said, they said that he would be able to come home to the family to be a family.
Okay.
And then, like, like I was shaking, I was like freaked out because last time I had to deal with those guys was in 2015 with Stacy Wanda.
Yeah, right. Did Brandon speak to them at all? Did you get him on the phone to talk with them or anything like
Um,
that?
I do know that he did call to talk to them about the agreement, and he denied the plea agreement because why should he? I'm I just feel it in my gut, and I'm the person that goes off of vibes and stuff. I'm kind of an outgoing ish, but different hippie wise say, and
Mhm.
everyone that has met Brandon doesn't see that, but when people meet Stacy, they see that. My mom seen red flags instant when she first met him.
But Brandon didn't want to take the deal because he doesn't feel like he's done anything. He's saying, I haven't done
Yes.
anything. I didn't hurt that kid. I didn't abduct that kid. I'm not signing anything.
Yes, he's saying he's never even met the kid. Like he's getting pinpointed because he was there at the wrong time around those two around the time that the incident happened. So it's all coming together, but eventually, like I said, he's got a lawyer. He's gonna be talking.
Yeah. Wow. That's just crazy. That they came all the way from they came all the way from Fruitland to Montana to offer him a plea deal. That's just crazy. And this has been like over a month now since all of this happened. Um, uh, did they
Can
tell
I
him
say
like if
something, Samantha?
you sure can?
So I was reading on the comments. You know, someone said run, darling. You deserve better. To be honest, Brandon is a really sweet guy. He does everything and anything to make sure his family is happy. That's why instead of, like, he was supposed to come back home, but he's been supposed, I don't know. He's working though.
Right. Well, and I know you guys have been having some problems and stuff because you want Brandon to go to Fruitland and clear his name because he's telling you, like, I didn't have anything to do with the abduction. I didn't hurt Michael. And you want him to go to Fruitland, clear his name. And you guys have been having some issues with that because so far he hasn't done that yet, right? That you know of?
Yes. From what I heard, he has talked to his attorney with his mom.
Right,
So I know they're planning on something, but like you know the story too, that didn't help that one situation.
right.
So
Well, and you said that Brandon talked a couple weeks ago or so about going to Fruitland with the attorney and his mom to talk with him, right?
yes, and that's still a go. I just don't
Okay.
know when.
Okay. Well, that's good. I really hope that that's something that he does because, you know, he needs to go talk to law enforcement and clear his name. If that's, that's the number one thing any one person would want to do, especially, if you're a suspect in an abduction, you know. Um, did law enforcement give him like any kind of time frame or
Someone's
anything?
phone's going off. Someone told me
That's
to
my
stop my
phone.
phone.
That's
Naughty,
my
naughty.
phone.
You told me to make sure my ringer was off.
Yeah, my
Naughty, naughty.
that's my daughter. She wants us to go to the park tomorrow with the grandbabies. Would you go
Oh
to the
no!
bedroom? Honey, would you go call Allison and tell her that sounds like a plan tomorrow? Yeah, I turned down my volume but forgot to put my phone on yeah. Oh no. She disappeared while I was looking at my phone. She'll come back. Hello, Pam. Thank you so much for coming in. Halo Art, Ashley. Thank you guys so much for coming in. I'm going to give her a second. She was having some crazy, crazy issues with her phone, not wanting to stay linked up and everything else. So I just appreciate everybody for coming in. I'm just really thankful that, with everything that's been going on with her and Brandon and everything, with her losing the baby and stuff, I'm just really thankful that, she's here and that she's talking, that she wants to share, information that she doesn't have to share about her life. Smoke, good to see you. KB, thank you for coming in. Okay, babe. Sorry, you guys. I'm just like paying attention. Yeah, I just heard "oh no" and then looked at the screen and was like, "Oh no, what the heck happened?" She'll come back up. Like I said, she was having an issue with her phone earlier. Jen, thank you for coming in. I'm going to go over and check my messenger real quick. See. She says, my phone sucks. She just messaged me. She's trying. Oh, here we go. Hold on.
About that, you guys, I am not good with technology. Technology and I do not get along
No,
whatsoever.
no worries. I totally get it. Like I told you before, I am a computer dinosaur. I yeah, I am not good at technology either sometimes, so I know it's
you don't
nerve-wracking.
you don't fight with it daily.
No, I don't, but I do fight with it when I get up on my computer sometimes for these lives, and it makes me really, really nervous. It doesn't matter how many lives I do, every time I go live, I'm still like the pit of my stomach is aching, I'm aching, and then when I have guests on and I feel like, oh God, please don't let anything go wrong, then that does get worse for me too. So I know I understand it so much. So many people are coming in and everybody's being so respectful and really glad that you're here. So I just want to thank you again. And yeah, like
I've been
Kelly's
looking on
saying
the
right
chats.
here, uh, Kelly just said
So
that StreamYard sucks sometimes.
yeah, so FYI, I have known Stacy Wanda since 2014. I have gotten in trouble with Stacy and Wanda in 2015. There was a lot more that happened to me than normal, and he was a part of it. So I don't like the guy, to
Right.
answer anyone's questions on that one.
Right. And you even said that law enforcement's been coming around and asking you questions about incidences that happened back in 2005. Oh no. She fell off again. Boo. So yeah, her and Stacy go way back to 2015, and law enforcement has came and spoken to her about incidences from 2015 here recently. So that is crazy. She's in Montana. She's in Livingston.
Technology stinks.
I'm sorry, hun. Did you have to switch phones or something?
No, so my phone keeps on going into a weird screen, so it went to one of the screens that I couldn't back out of to go back to our chat wise, and it
Yeah.
disconnected us that round.
Well,
So
if you
I
have
don't
to,
know.
just sit your phones down and like leave them alone, or turn your one
Oh, I
phone off
did.
where you can see chat and
I
stuff. And
put my I put the phone that I'm talking to you on away from me so I don't touch it.
there you go. So one of the questions, oh, we were talking about Stacy Wandra, and I just told everybody when you fell off, like law enforcement's been coming and talking to you about an incident from 2015 having to do with Stacy.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, we not going to talk about that case and stuff, but yeah, they have been asking her some questions about that case from 2015. Um, because he did some really, really, really shady things, and those things almost got Misty killed. So,
I I
um,
had the gun to my head
yeah,
because of
it
him.
was some pretty serious stuff. So, um, one of the things too that I wanted to ask, when they came and they talked to you about the plea agreement and anything, did they give Brandon like a time frame or an ultimatum of any kind?
A time frame?
Yeah, like if you don't do this, then this and this is going to happen. I mean,
No,
did they
they
give
did
him like
not.
an ultimatum?
They just said they will be back with a warrant for his arrest.
Oh, so they're like, if you don't sign this, we're coming back with a warrant.
I don't know. I know they talked, and they got told to talk to his attorney. So
Right.
I don't know.
And let's see, we already talked about that, and we already talked about you talking with Brandon's mom. How's
And
Brandon's mom
I
doing
wish
with
I knew
everything?
where Monkey was. I seen all these comments about Monkey. I feel 100% for Monkey. Like, I'm doing the best I can for you guys to help on with this case. I'm just letting you know, Stacy is no innocent. I call him the monster. My mom calls him the devil.
Yeah, and I mean, you are one of the reasons why Brandon came up and talked to me on my live and back in
Yes, I
February.
am.
And Dan is I know you and Dan don't get along, but I'm just going to say he was another person that was also helping, telling Brandon, to talk with me. And I really appreciate that from you, because if it weren't for you, he probably wouldn't even have come up, honestly. And I know that, and you know that. We've spoke about that many times. So, um but how's Brandon's mom doing? How's his family doing?
Oh, she's been stressed. She's got a lot going on. She's redoing her house that I know of. So,
Mhm.
like she's got that going on, plus her kid, plus like
Yeah.
people won't leave her alone about her son, you know? It kind of like I don't know how it is yet. My oldest is 17, but I can wait, and I don't see my oldest doing that. I see my youngest.
Yeah.
not getting in trouble with the law more.
Right.
So I don't
Um,
know. I just know me and her have talked. We haven't talked really since yes no yesterday because no the day before yesterday because I turned off my phone 2 day for after 2 days of me miscarrying my babies.
yeah, and I know you and I have also spoke that Brandon has not came back home yet. He
Nope.
is still working with Eric. Um, do you think that
So
Brandon's hiding right now? Do you think he's hiding from law enforcement or anything, or scared,
no,
or
he's just living his life, trying to make a better life. To be honest, like he's not hiding, but he's scared pointless. Like people are accusing him of something. I know how I am when I get accused of doing something that I'm not like I didn't do.
right?
So
Yeah.
like that's
I mean, I know he's a nervous wreck. I know that since all of this stuff happened, because I've been talking with him too, you know that, and he goes back and forth. Like some days he's doing really well, and other days he's talking about having, some depression and having some anxiety. He's worried about things that are happening right now, and he's just really hoping that his lawyer's going to be able to help him. I know those are the things that he told has spoken to me about. Um, do do you know who Eric is? Do you know anything about him?
so you know what I think of him, and you
Right,
know what I say about him from what I heard about both of his parents saying to me about him. I did not know Eric. Actually, Eric just surprised him one day and came and got him where he was actually going to go get a job, make real money, and get his stuff back together here.
right.
And
And
then he showed up and they were supposed to go snowmobiling for 2 days. Next thing I know, he's not coming back because he doesn't have a vehicle.
right, and Eric's not bringing him back home.
Nope.
And he even tried getting a hold of Daniel Guthrie to, you know, come and pick him up, and they didn't come pick him up. It was something like a 5-hour drive or something to go get him in Missoula, and they didn't, and he kept trying to come back home. Do you want to share it all about what his parents told you about Eric, or do you not want to share that?
I feel like to be honest, I think that's not what we need to talk about. Just know that
Okay.
they don't approve of him,
Okay.
if that makes
And
that simple.
right, it does make sense, and that's all you got to say. They don't really approve, of him hanging out with Eric, and that's fine. You don't have to get into any details. Um, um,
So to answer someone's question, because I am reading up on the chats, you guys, some of you guys can be a little bit harsh, just saying. I'm very honest, and very blunt. Um, so Brandon told me he didn't even know what the kid looked like. Had nothing to know about Michael. He didn't even know that he was around. Um, So, my guess to one of the questions about Brandon had anything to do about Michael or knew about Michael, I'm gonna say no because from what he told me, no.
right. Um, And, you and I have spoken about this several times. You have actually, there was a recording that was put out by Brooks from Crime Lines and Lies. And we all know that you believe that Brandon is not guilty for anything, that you believe that he didn't have anything to do with this, that he was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. And, you know, and that's okay for you to feel that way. Everybody is entitled to their own opinions. You know how I feel about Brandon. I think Brandon needs to go clear his name with law enforcement, just like you. Like I've told him, if you have nothing to do with this, then you need to go talk to law enforcement. And that's what I've been, you know, telling him,
But
just like you have been telling him since we've met and started talking. because that's what's important. Like he just needs to, no matter what, whatever he's scared about. Um, do you think that he has any knowledge at all about anything?
I think, like I said, Stacy and Sarah started getting awkward with him after Michael. I clarified from that kid, by the way. Sorry,
Mhm.
I was just talking. I'm reading the chat. Sorry, Sam.
Well, that's why I told you you may not want to even pay attention to the chat because
I
it
do
may get
want
you
to know
sidetracked a
because
little bit. I know you do, but I keep my chat open afterwards if you want to go see what people are saying, and then you can like talk in the comment section after the
but
live or
that's so
something,
much reading.
right? Or you can just keep things in mind, and then towards the end or whatever, we can start answering some questions from
What
chat.
does
Just don't let
exactly
it get you
purple mean?
sidetracked, is all I'm saying. Don't let it get it sidetracked
Oh,
over there because
what's
there's gonna,
exactly purple mean?
huh?
What does exactly purple mean?
Exactly purple. What do you mean?
Someone said exactly.
Oh,
Oh,
Purple said something and then somebody agreed with Purple. So Purple
oh,
Phoenix
okay.
is the moderator here. She's one of the moderators here, and she has a different channel. So she's sitting here and talking and everything. So everybody, you're going to have people in here asking you some really straight up questions. You may have people in there, that aren't happy with you or with Brandon. I mean, that is, he is a suspect in Monkey's case, no matter what me or you think. That's just a fact. So there are a lot of people that hold a different opinion than you do and believe that he has involvement and is guilty of whatever. But try not to pay too much attention to chat because you're either going to get irritated and pissed off, or
Mhm.
I don't, you know what I mean? you're a very you're a very blunt person, and I know that. So, um,
Yes, I am.
back to the question though, do you believe that Brandon has any knowledge of anything at all
No,
regarding Michael?
no, not all. To
Okay.
be honest, like he looks a lot. It's he like when we started first talking about the kid because coming to find Stacy had to message me. That's how this all got started. But anyways, um, no, I don't. He looks like he has no idea. Like he doesn't even know what to think or what to say because what he does say, everyone goes against him mostly. So, like, I really don't think he has nothing to do with this, Michael. And I don't see Brandon hurting a child at all.
Yeah, because you said he's been around your kids, right?
He's been around my kids. He's been around my friends' kids. Like, even the baby, I watched a 1.5-year-old walk up to him and wanted it in his arms and play football and stuff. Like hand the ball to him and yeah. But anyways, like I I have not seen one bad incident with a kid, or I haven't gotten no bad instincts from him, or I don't, like I said, I don't think he even knew about Michael.
Yeah.
And like I said, Stacy is a twisted one.
Um, there was a question a while back ago that I wanted to ask you because somebody had asked it. I thought it was a really good question. Do you know if law enforcement, while they were in Montana, went and spoke with anybody else?
From what I heard, yes, but I don't know because I don't talk to those people.
Okay. So, and do you know how long law enforcement was there, like in Livingston?
I know they came to my house Saturday. I know they didn't leave until Sunday, and then yeah, they went somewhere else on Sunday. Remember, I told you where.
Right, right. Well, I just want everybody in chat to know. And like I said before, you guys, this is March 8th, not like last Saturday or this Saturday. On March 8th, it's been over a month since law enforcement from Fruitland came to Misty's mom's house where she lives. Um, and the state's prosecutor was with her, correct? Her? The officer was a her. And the sheriff from Livingston. Those are who came and knocked on Misty's door. They had a plea agreement for Brandon that pretty much said, if you will sign this, whatever that plea agreement is or was, because we're not privileged to that information, we'll take the death penalty off of the table. And yeah, that was pretty much it. And are you still here, Misty?
Yes, I am.
Okay. I know. So when that recording got put out by Brooks, there was one particular question that everybody wants to know about. And I have the clip from Brooks. Can I play this one question and just you tell us about it and explain it to us?
Yes,
Because I
please.
know it's like the one question everybody keeps wondering about. Do you mind?
Oh boy, yes. Go for it.
All right, thank you. All right, so I'm going to put this up here and then I'll hold on 1 second because I got to share my screen here. Okay, so this is just a small part of that. It's one thing that you said that everybody is asking about.
Yeah, I
So
know what it is. I'm reading
I
it.
know, and I just wanted to give you a chance to explain it because it's just been a nonstop question for me and pretty sure Brooks too. So I'm going to play it real quick and then I'll stop it and then we'll talk about it. Hold on.
All right, sounds golden.
That's okay. Did anyone owe them money?
I don't know. I just know something about have to do. Like I said, I don't know the whole story. I just know what Brandon has told me, and other people have told me that been looking on stuff. And from what I heard, Adrian was they were supposed to sell the kid to someone, but I guess they fell through. From what I heard, but after that kid went missing, Adrian bounced 3 days later.
So to
Okay.
answer that question, so I did get told that Adrian sells children. He trafficked kids. I by the other person that you speak with, by the way, I don't speak to anymore. Is the one that who told me that.
Right, and it's something that Stacy Wanderer has said, on several
But
different YouTube lives and stuff. And
it doesn't shock me with Stacy.
Right.
It does not shock me. He's a twisted, sick guy.
Right. And Adrian left their house but didn't leave Idaho until I want to say August 20th to August 22nd. I'm not sure how long he was at the Wanderer's house after Michael's abduction. I think he was there, though, a lot longer than 3 days. So I don't know what that information that was given to you. But did Brandon tell you any of that? Or did you just hear it from somebody else?
Not really Brandon. Brandon didn't really pay attention. He didn't really care for Adrian, to be honest, from what he told me. And he was starting not to be a fan of Stacy and Sarah.
Yeah. Has Brandon ever talked to you about Adrian or said anything to you about Adrian or anything?
Nope, we don't the last time we discussed about Adrian, he didn't like him and he didn't really care for him.
Has he ever talked to you about Stacy and Sarah?
Yeah, you know that.
Yeah. What's he said about Sarah and Stacy?
So before the kid went missing, I meant not the kid, Michael.
Michael, thank you.
Sorry. Before Michael went missing, that Sarah and Stacy like kind of cornered Brandon ish and told Brandon he's got to knock up Sarah to get her pregnant. And ever since then, it was a big kind of hoo-ha between them.
So Brandon did verify with you that Sarah and Stacy were wanting him to get Sarah pregnant.
Yes. And he
Okay.
said, oh, no. Like I told you before, too, the only thing he did with that chick was a blowjob.
Oh, damn. Yeah, I remember you saying that to me. TMI,
I told
right?
you guys I am very honest. I'm sorry. I'm blunt. I've been through a nightmare of my own with this guy, Stacy. So it just brings back a whole bunch of memories.
Yeah. Yep. We all stand with Brandy. By the way, if I could just ask everybody to pray for her, she had a very rough week. That's all I'm going to say because I'm not going to air out her business. But if you guys could say a prayer for her, I would really, really
I
appreciate
could
that.
say it.
And of course, no, we don't. Well, we don't want to talk
Okay.
about Brandy's business, but yeah, just keep her in your prayers, please. Thank you guys. Yeah, I was sitting here. I mean, I guess I can look through some. Thank you guys for all the prayers. I can look through chat now, and if you want to answer some questions from chat, or I mean, is there anything you just want to talk about? Like, you can talk about whatever you want to talk about, whatever you're comfortable.
That's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
So I don't have a anxiety or panic attack or go into my freak out moment.
Mm-hmm.
Because I promised you one thing, I was gonna be chilled.
That's
so
right. We are. We're gonna be chill. Yeah. No, it's fine. I'm glad that you're here and I'm glad that you're talking. I think it's really important for everybody to hear that, you've been working very hard with Brandon to get him to go in and talk with law enforcement, and clear his name, um, you know, and we know now that he's got an attorney. We know he turned down this plea agreement because he's saying that he didn't, do anything to Michael. And here's a question that just rolled up. It says, does Misty still talk with Brandon? When was the last time they talked?
Today, we talk every day. Just saying. And, so I was also reading messages. So hold on, I lost my place in these because they won't stop. So hold on.
Yeah, they're not going to stop.
No, every time I try and look for it, it bounces up. So as I so how did I get associated? So me and Stacy haven't hung out since 2014, 2015. The last day was March 16th of 2015 is the last day I ever hung out with him. That's when cops came and pulled laser guns and said someone was held hostage when no one was.
So Sarah Suspicious wants to know if Brandon knows that you're doing this live with me.
No, he doesn't. I haven't really talked to him today. We're not on. Just say me and him have not been. We've been letting the baby infect. The babies infect are talking to each other. because I've been so down and depressed. I just recently got myself out of a depression.
Right. Yeah. They have had a very, very difficult week, and there's a lot of things that are going on, for Misty and Brandon, sharing that you even had a miscarriage. It wasn't something that you had to do. And I appreciate you just here being honest with all your feelings and everything, because I know you've had a rough week,
Oh
So,
yes, I have had rough like 2.5 weeks, 3.
right. Um, if you guys have questions, now's the time to ask, because I have pretty much gone through everything. She was here or Misty is here, excuse me, to talk about, the movement and Michael's case, because we want the public to know that there is movement. Even though he turned down the plea agreement and whatever, doesn't mean that there isn't movement. Law enforcement is still working on Michael Vaughn's case. They are trying to make deals. They're making plea agreements. They're doing everything they can right now. There's also a lot of other stuff going on in the background that I will be able to talk about soon, but can't talk about today. And maybe Misty will come back, in a few days when I can talk about it, and we can talk
Maybe.
about it
We'll
again.
see.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty busy. I'm taking care of my mom because of her shoulders.
Yeah.
I'm taking care of my kids. I'm taking care of my auntie who's on oxygen, as you heard the oxygen machine earlier. Like, it's just a big hoo-ha with me. And if I'm at my mom's around my kids, I'm just saying my youngest is a pain in my butt. He's my mini-me.
Right.
Literally.
So back in 2021, like in July of 2021, were you speaking with Brandon or Sarah and
I
Stacy?
didn't know Brandon.
You didn't
I
even
didn't even
know
know
Brandon.
Brandon.
Okay.
I didn't even meet Brandon until the end of November of last year,
Of
2024.
2024. Okay.
Yeah.
All
And I
right.
known Stacy since 2014. Last time, okay, so I did hear from him like a year ago ish when I was on my way to Idaho, Mountain View with my ex to go through his storage. Um, that was the last time. And then in December of last year, he messaged me and asked me out on a date.
Okay. Somebody is asking, how did you meet Brandon?
I actually went to well, at the time, I thought they were my friends. I don't talk to them. I don't associate with them. Yeah. Anyways, long story short, I was helping them pack because they had to be out of their house, and he came down to help them move. And
Okay.
ever since then, we got together.
Right. And you're talking about meeting them through Dan and Jessica Guthrie, correct?
Yes, I just didn't mention names because me and
I
them
know.
don't get along.
I know. And that's fine. So someone just said thank you for answering that question. Thank you guys all for being really respectful. I appreciate it. Somebody makes a comment, ain't no way I date someone named in a crime like this, nor let them, I think it said,
Okay, for one,
let them
when I was
around my
starting to
kids.
see him, I'm just gonna be honest, for one, I didn't really know about it until I heard a conversation one night, and then Stacy messaged me in December, like I said. So, you know, I didn't look to me, in my eyes, and everything, and what I have seen personally from Brandon and who he is, he's not a bad person. He was just around the wrong people at the wrong time. And people do make mistakes on having bad friends.
But what
We
about,
learned that
so if
through
you
our
guys were
whole ways.
if you guys were dating or whatever, you said November of 2024, when did you find out that he was a suspect in Michael's case?
December,
In
when Stacy
December.
messaged me, he's like, "That's the guy who's trying to get me in trouble."
Okay.
I said, oh, he got me in trouble in 2015.
Kelly has a question, wants to know what
What's up?
happened. What happened with
Huh?
Stacy? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, Kelly wants to know what happened with Stacy. Why aren't you guys friends anymore?
What happened with Stacy? So in 2015 of March, the night before, cops came. There was only 2 people in the hotel room. I'm gonna explain everything now because it's already opened on Brooks's talk. So,
That's fine. Go ahead.
in 2015, Stacy Wanda and Anthony Jones, who is my ex, who is dead now, by the way, um, which was Stacy's brother from another mother. Uh, Only knew I was the one in the hotel. No one else knew I was there besides those 2. And then next thing I know, Stacy was on the phone. Next thing I know, there's a knock on the door. Stacy answers it. They ask for me, which it was a guy with the tattoo of a teardrop on one of his eyes. And um, he asked me if I could go with him, which my boyfriend in the back, which is Anthony, told me, like whispered to me, be like, not without me. And so I said, not without my boyfriend. And he's like, all right. So we get in the truck, went behind a store, backed up. He had the gun to my head, told me he was going to kill me. And as soon as he said, kill you, my boyfriend in the back seat shot the guy. And I had brains and everything all over me.
Oh, goodness. Don't go into
And
too much detail because you two will not like us very much.
okay, and then the next night, so I'm uh I'm a stoner, I gotta admit. So at the time of the stoning, there was medical cards. I had my medical cards, Stacy did not. He was smoking all my weed and he kicked me off the bed because I had to go to work. I worked at night. I was cleaning a store at nighttime. And he kicked me off the bed and Anthony seen that and I don't know what happened, but all I heard is don't be smoking my girl's weed. And next thing I know, Anthony went outside. He came back in. Next thing I know, Stacy left and then got laser points, gun points coming into
Right.
the hotel room saying someone was held hostage.
Right.
No one was
And
because it was
ever since that recording came out that Brooks put out with you talking about all of this incident and everything else, law enforcement ends up coming and talking to you again in Livingston about all of this once they hear that out in the open again, right?
yeah, so I had a detective called me from here as in Livingston to verify it. I was like, dude, to be honest, you guys aren't gonna know nothing anymore because the person that told me stuff or I remember is dead.
Right.
He
It's
died
just,
in 2022
yeah, that's just
in
crazy.
jail.
Damn.
So
That's crazy.
and that's the history with me and Stacy. And he made me hit bottom rock. He made me lose my kids. So do you know how on one of someone's videos, just asking, on someone's videos, they were talking about, Sarah was talking about how a girl from Montana, he got mad at her for no reason. That's me that they're talking about. And got her kids
Oh,
taken away.
he actually mentioned you in another live?
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
wow.
Sarah did.
Oh, Sarah did. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's crazy. So somebody
Yes.
wanted to know, they had a question and was wondering, even though you didn't know that Brandon was a suspect in Michael's abduction, did you ever hear about Michael's abduction?
I didn't even hear about it until then. I didn't even know about it.
Yeah. Same with me, actually. When I got asked to start doing lives on Michael, I didn't know who he was either. So, and that in itself, is the reason why I'm like, oh, wow, this is in Idaho. This is like right next to me. I should have heard about this and I hadn't. And it was one of the reasons why I was so, wanting to make sure that he got some awareness because I couldn't believe that I hadn't heard about it. I actually confused him with the another little boy who came up missing in Idaho while he was camping. I think it was like the Devore case or something. But people were asking other questions. I can scroll up too. Thank you for sharing that with us about, Stacy too. I know you and him do not get along and you think he's a monster, you know.
I want, dude, you should have told, you should have heard the sheriff's mouth when I got arrested in the hotel room, because they all know me here and they know how honest I and blunt I am.
Yeah. Um
So there is a question. So how did I get my hits taken away? How did Stacy? So to be honest, I am in recovery. Stacy I used to go get high with Stacy. Um, he got my kids taken away because they found a whole bunch of baggies, empty baggies. They found needles, which I didn't touch needles. They found a whole bunch of why he was on felony probation because of the crime that happened in 2015.
have there been any rumors that you've heard regarding Michael's abduction?
No, not in the state of Montana. Like I said, I didn't even know about it until in December.
Somebody else here wants to know, where's Brandon now?
He's still working.
Um
And I can't text or I will get thrown off of this
right.
chat.
Yeah, don't do any texting.
We already learned that with me.
um I know. So somebody else wanted to know, like, we know that Brandon is working. I think people want to know if you know where Brandon is. Like, do you know where he
I
is?
feel like I do know where he is, but I feel like no, he doesn't need that. He's already going to step up and talk.
Yeah, because we've got someone saying working down in Kuna, or yeah, I think people are wanting to know where he is.
I
But
think that's personal, and he's going to go talk. And I think people need to think about event when he does go talk, because I got him to talk to Samantha. By the way, you guys, I helped a lot of it. After how
you
many
did,
years, I got him to get on another show. I'm just saying, like, he doesn't need the harassment. Don't, please don't start blowing him up. Please don't be negative towards him. That's all I'm gonna ask you, because I do know Brandon and he'll back off.
right?
He gets that way. He will back off if something happens. If he gets negative, if he gets it's it's who he is. He wears his heart on his sleeve, like I've been trying to say.
Sarah Suspicious says, does law enforcement know where he is?
I don't know. Last I knew, they were getting a hold of me to get a hold of him and his mom. And last I knew, they were going to go talk to the person. They just have to get a hold of the person that they're going to go talk to. Like me and him talk every day, but we don't talk about the same thing.
Right. So has law enforcement contacted you again then since the plea deal, and asked you anything or talked to you about anything that you want to share?
So I have talked to an officer. I don't know if he's an officer or a detective. Me and him actually have had quite a bit contact, because like I'm trying to help Michael get home or be found, and do you feel about Michael being gone? Because I can imagine if my kids were gone. Brandy's
Right.
got one of a kind. Keep it going, girl. It's hard,
Yeah,
but
she is
man,
got a lot of strength and
she's a
stuff.
fighter. She is
She
one of
is.
a kind. And
Um,
I do want to say something to Blue. If Brandy's on, I really loved your poem, your essay, and that hit Brandon in the spot too because he cried after that.
aw. Well, that's good. I'm glad he's like showing some feelings about it and stuff. I know he was a little bit nervous even coming up on the live, but I really appreciated that he let Blue like because I asked him if it was okay if she read that and he said yeah, and then he spoke afterwards and stuff. So, yeah. Yeah, that's nice to know that he was like showing some feelings after hearing that. That's a good sign. Question here. Has Brandon been visited by LE since they visited you?
I have no idea. I haven't been around him since he got taken to go snowmobiling. We have only talked. And like I said, our relationship is on a bumpy road because of our babies I just miscarried.
Yeah. Um, yeah, that's really unfortunate. Um, Kelly wants to know, has anyone in Idaho said any rumors or anything to you regarding Michael's abduction?
All I know is, well, you kind of know, Samantha. The only person that I got into a really big argument about today was that one chick I told you about, and that's all I heard.
Right. She has had several different people. We're not going to put out any names. So she has had several people messaging her, trying to contact her, trying to contact Brandon, trying to, some of them are creators, some of them are not creators from YouTube.
Lay
Some
down,
of
bear.
them some of them are psychics and this and that, and she's really just trying to avoid any of that because she doesn't want to keep talking with a bunch of people. She just wanted to, she's been talking with me and she trusts me and she knows that I'm not gonna like put out a bunch of like rumors or misinformation about anything that she's told me or whatnot. So she's just weary about who she is talking to, and she got into a big argument with somebody today that was trying to get a hold of her because they won't leave her alone. And this is somebody that has nonstop, that from what I understand and what I have heard, that's also harassed Brandy before in the past too. And now they're trying to contact Misty. And I'm assuming today because they saw the thumbnail that Misty was going to come up here live. But and for anybody in the back, just going to say it was not Brooks. Okay, it was not Brooks from Crime Lines
No, it
Live.
was not Brooks.
Right. So I want to clear that up because I don't want any rumors being started.
Rumors
So
are
let me.
bad
Yeah, and they heard a
unless
child's
it's true.
case. So let me see if there's any more questions. Here's KB. Do you watch his interviews? Do you watch Brandon's interviews?
I do, and I watch Stacey's, and I watch Sarah's, and I watch everyone's.
Okay. And let's see. Just looking for questions. I appreciate you being here and, keep talking and answering questions. That's awesome. I know a lot of people have been asking me ever since the recording went out, they've like, can you get Misty up on a live? We know you talked to her, and yeah, getting permission to talk about certain information that you already knew about was a perfect opportunity to ask you to come up here. So everybody just
I
really
know a lot.
appreciates you coming. Yeah.
I do know a lot, to be honest, and it's it's not bad that I know, but I also know a lot of stuff that's going on in the case, and it's head warming, especially what's going on with my home life.
Right.
I have to take
Well,
care of
and you're
my
gonna be
mom.
getting surgery soon done on your
Oh
neck and
yeah,
all
on my
your
neck.
vertebrae, that are all messed up. Here's another question by Bish,
One,
please.
two.
She wants to know, how does Misty feel about Sarah?
I never met the chick, but from what I heard, I don't like her because I have heard in the grapevine from another person, by the way, not Brandon, but that she had from her ex-husband, she has had dreams about fantasies about doing stuff that sounds like what has happened to Michael and the duct tape situation and stuff like that. That's like it disgustes me. It bleh, me about her,
Yeah.
but they belong
Purple
together.
Purple put up in chat that it has been 1,355 days since Michael's abduction.
That's
Um,
really super sad.
it really is. It really is. He was only 5 years old when he was abducted. And somebody else earlier said, do you know that by Brandon's own admission that he was with Sarah and Stacy the day that Michael was abducted?
So I do, from what he told me, he was there, but he told me he left.
That
He
he
went up to
left?
his mom's. Yeah, he left and he went up to his mom's alone to get away from Sarah and Stacy. Like I said, they were starting to bump heads because of Stacy and Sarah.
Did he say that that was the night that Michael was abducted?
No, he did say that he did leave quite a bit. He wasn't really, he was there, but he wasn't there. He was, but he wasn't, like how he does nowadays, too.
Um, Did he talk to you or say anything? I know this is something you and I have never spoken about, but because you were just saying that he went to Kuna to get away, did he talk to you at all about going to tow back his car from Kuna that night that Michael was abducted with Sarah and
Yeah,
Stacy?
yeah. So from he told me what he did everything that you know now. I know,
Okay.
Samantha. What did he tell you about that night? He told you yes, they did, but there was no
Yeah,
kid involved
right.
that
Well,
he
I was just
knowledge or
when
known.
you said that he
I
went
meant
to
Michael.
Kuna. Yeah, when you
Sorry.
said that he went to Kuna by himself, that's why I'm asking that question about the tow thing. Do you know what night it was that he's saying he
N-
went back to Kuna
No.
by himself?
So no. So I do know with Brandon and his timings because so much has happened and like this has put a mind through him and he can't like I made him sit down and think about what that day happened.
Right.
And that's before he talked to you.
Okay.
Because that was the best way I could have. I made him write on his thinking chair. So he has a thinking chair at the house that he sits and thinks on.
So Sarah Suspicious has like a kind of a long question, but I'm going to go ahead and read it. She says, I would like to go back just a little bit. You said that you were told they were going to sell him. Then you said it didn't end up happening because he was abducted. Could you please explain that one more time?
So, like I said, I got told from someone else, not Brandon, that Adrian trafficked kids. And from what I heard, the the deal fell through, and then I got told someone left. Someone left. Adrian left. So I
Right.
don't know. I don't know what to say, but um, I do know Stacy in Montana is a CI worker. I do know Adrian's on the FBI watch list.
What do you
Um,
mean Stacy's a CI? What do you mean? I've never heard you talk about that before.
yeah, you have.
I don't remember that. What do you
Yeah.
mean a CI, like an informant or something?
Yeah, where he tried to get people nailed after this. Why do you think his sentence was so much lighter on felony probation than me or Anthony?
I don't remember talking about that. We might have, though. I mean, if you say that you've told me, I
Oh,
don't
I have.
remember. Oh,
I've
okay.
told you a lot of
Well, you
stuff.
have told me a lot. Maybe it was, yeah, I don't know. I just don't remember you saying that. So, yeah, that's crazy. I have heard other people say that too. You're not the only one that has said that before, too. So, yeah.
Like I said, I'm trying to help Monkey Michael. This time I remember instead of that kid. I really am trying to control myself on that kid part, just so everyone understands. I am
Right.
trying.
Because it is the one thing, like a lot of the suspects that talk, they always say that kid or whatever. They do not use Michael's name. So it really upsets people when we don't say Monkey, when we don't say Michael. So I appreciate you doing that. I know chat appreciates it because that's who we're here for. That's who we're trying to bring awareness for. You're trying to help by
Absolutely.
getting, Brandon to go talk to law enforcement, which he has said that he's going to do, that he's going to go talk to law enforcement in Fruitland with his attorney and his mom. And, his mom talked to him after this plea deal offer came out, and she helped him get the attorney and stuff. So, he's still saying that that's something he's going to do.
I'm on the live still, Angie. Sorry, my auntie forgot I was on live, you guys.
No, you're fine. Everybody's got lives. She's at her auntie's house taking care of her aunt. Let me see if there's any other questions here. Thank you guys all coming in and supporting Michael, supporting the Vaughn family. All we want is justice for Michael. All we want is for the family to get peace. We want to know where Monkey is. That's what everybody wants to know. Well, the Vaughn family wants to know.
So I did just read something up on the thing. I do
Mhm.
know a lot, but we're not allowed to talk about it right now.
Right. There are things that there's a lot of things that she knows that she's not allowed to talk about. And me and Misty went over those things before our live because I don't have permission to air that out to the public. So I have permission to talk about this. That law enforcement went to Montana and spoke to Misty and also spoke to other people that I know. And Misty has also confirmed that she knows that they talked to other people. And, they came with a plea deal basically saying, like, if you sign this, do this, we
Okay,
will
so
take the death penalty.
Jessica's saying stuff right now. So I'm gonna say one thing. Jessica and Dan, you need to back off. Okay? That's none of your business. You're not my body. You guys are no good for me anyways. So please watch your mouth. Do not
Where is that at?
start
I
your
am not seeing that on the computer.
so Jessica just messaged on about the paperwork. I didn't show her. I didn't show Dan. I wonder why, because me and Dan got in fights every single time we were around each other, where I had to jump out of moving vehicles.
Yeah. Did she message you, or did you see her
No.
message here in chat, or is she messaging you?
Yes.
In
She
chat.
messaged.
Okay. Dan and Jessica, if you guys are here, please keep your cool in chat, please, is all I'm asking. I'm not trying to get Misty upset. She's here as a guest. We're going to be respectful to her, please. I would really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. I don't see the comment, so.
I just took a screenshot of it.
Okay, thank you.
But I can't do anything about it because or else it would disconnect us.
What's going on is that Dan and Jessica Guthrie are friends of Brandon's. They are not friends with Misty, and they don't get along. We'll put it at that. They live in Livingston also, but yeah, we just don't want any confrontations going on in chat. So please be chill, you guys. Thank you, Sarah.
Sorry, you guys, for that, but I had to say something.
No, not a problem. I know you were worried about, people coming in that know you and stuff and what they might have to say. So we're keeping it chill still and stuff. I just appreciate you, being here and answering questions and stuff. Did she say something about paperwork?
Yes. So I didn't show her or Dan because when they cornered me, I told them I had a big headache, and Dan was questioning me, and then being long
Oh,
story short, I jumped out of the vehicle that night. Moving vehicle.
what paperwork? Paperwork
Pa-
having to do with the plea
Pregnancy.
agreement? Oh, okay. We're not talking about that. Yeah, that's totally irrelevant to all of this right now. And she's
I
lost the
know, but
baby, so it's a hurtful
twins, but
subject. So
like I said, I read the comments. You told
I
me
know
not
you
to,
did.
and I did
It's
it
all right.
anyway. I'm
I
stubborn.
wasn't down there that far. I was way up ahead just going through like all of the questions. So when Jessica came in and started talking, I didn't even see her comment because like I said, I was looking way up in the comments. Um
Oh, by the way, you guys probably heard me say lay down Bear. Bear Jr. is my puppy. He is my service dog because I have heart damage. I have C1, C2, C5, C6, and C7. I have to have major surgery on my neck down,
yeah,
and
she
he
was in
helps
a
me with
bad
it.
car accident with a semi truck.
No, okay, so in 2005, I was in a big rollover where I broke my C1. And then last year, around my birthday, I was in a semi accident on the highway. They were going 70 and slammed into us. And if we were a few more inches up, we would have been smashed all the way.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, you're lucky you survived. We have talked
I'm
about that.
lucky I
That's
survived a
crazy.
lot.
Another question from Ruby Rose says, back to the plea agreement, Brandon was offered one.
Yes, he
Yes.
was. But I didn't know about it until after he talked. Or whatever. After they talked and they told me that he wasn't going to take the plea agreement because she called me the next day and told me, and I talked to Brandon, and then I found out what the plea agreement was. So,
Somebody says that they hope that your surgery goes well.
me too. It's a major surgery, over like 24-hour surgery, probably.
Did they mention what charges they would be bringing against Brandon? Is another
First-degree
question.
murder. That's it. But
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I told you that.
I know you did, and I forgot to ask. I mean, I get nervous too when I have people up here. Actually, the question's sitting here staring me in the face now that I look back down to my paper. Yeah, they want to charge Brandon with first degree murder, you said? Right?
Yes. Yes. But all they have right now is he said, she said.
Right. Did they
That's what
say
I can
anything
say.
to you about evidence?
They said that they had a lot, but technically I went and did a little bit more research and I talked to some other people and they told me all they have is Stacy and Sarah's tapes or whatever you want to call it. Well, Stacy more like it. But if
Have you heard
you,
have you heard Stacy's confession tapes?
yes, I have that 3.5 hour one. I wanted to throw my phone because I knew when he was lying.
Yeah. Did you
I
hear
had to,
him? Did you hear him say that Brandon duct taped Michael?
yeah, and it pissed me off. I also heard that so in the beginning of all the tapes and stuff, there's also a point in the tape where he said Brandon had nothing to do with it, but the bodies were, or the body could, if it was in their yard, it was somewhere else.
Right.
It's retarded. It's a big hoo-ha with Stacy. I wish I
Yeah,
never met that guy.
and we kind of talked, like law enforcement, like I told you anyway, law enforcement must have something, otherwise they're not going to come all the way from Fruitland to Montana.
I don't know.
Do
I
we
don't
know what
see
they have?
Brandon.
No. They
No.
told you that they do have evidence, but they didn't tell you what the evidence was, because there's lots of questions coming through about the evidence.
They did
They
not.
did
And
not talk.
even if they did it, I wouldn't be able to allow to say.
Right. They did
And
not.
that's because of, to be honest, I'm lucky. To be honest, I'm grateful that I'm doing this with you, but I shouldn't have even done it, but I wanted to get my words out
I
and
know.
get my side.
Yeah, because, you didn't know that a recording was going to be released with you
Yeah,
on
I
it.
know. I got
And,
blamed.
I'm not trying to put any shade on Brooks whatsoever. That's not what I'm doing. But Misty was upset about the fact that this recording was let out. She didn't know she was being recorded, and it got put out there. So not only, coming up and talking about the things that she knows right now, this new information, she wanted to be able to come out and talk and, kind of put her side of the story out there in ways that she can actually answer the questions that people have and everything else. So that's why I'm really grateful that she's here.
Thank you.
Yeah. And, I know you've been talking and stuff to Brandon this last week. He hasn't mentioned to you when he thinks he's going to be able to make it down to Fruitland.
No, I just got him to get out of his breakout mode because you know why.
Yeah.
So let's not push it. He's like a turtle. When he gets scared, he goes in his shell. Or, you know.
I got a message from Brandy, and
Hi, Brandy.
she's and this is like on my phone in a text message. She says, please tell Misty my offer still stands for Brandon to speak with LE. I was asking for leniency for him to tell me where Michael is.
Wait a
And
minute. I got a question. Weren't those two talking and texting? Because I read text messages from those two.
I keep my text messages on, just like in case Brandy is watching, because I know she's not feeling good, so she's not going to come into chat right now.
No. I was saying, didn't her and Brandon talk?
Yes. And that's why
Okay.
her and Brandon were text messaging with each other and stuff. I don't know if they still are, but she just wanted me to say, like, I'll tell you again, it says, tell Misty my offer still stands for Brandon to speak with LE. I was asking for leniency for them to tell me where Michael is.
Yes, I get that. And my God, my heart breaks for you, Brandy. I'm super sorry. I have been trying to get in a lot of Brandon to step up and talk. Like, I got him to talk to Samantha. That was a hard boat. And now I'm getting him to where he's going to go talk to the LEs. Is that law enforcement?
Yeah, LE is law enforcement, yes.
Oh my God, you guys do so much different language than Montana, but I have my own language too, so.
Yeah, and then there's just people in here that, are talking to Brandon and saying please talk to law enforcement, and and that's the same kind of stuff that everybody's just been asking him to do and stuff.
I
So
know if we push it more and more, he's gonna curl up, and I
right.
let him go, but I do remind him because I'm like, dude, this is not like. So to be honest, actually, we got into it the other day after I lost the babies. Because I was like, this is way too much stress. You could have just already went and taken care of it. And I was like, you're bringing on a lot of stress, and he blames himself for the babies going bye-bye because he felt like he brought on too much stress because he he's he's from what I'm understanding, he's going down for something he didn't do.
Yeah, I know. And
And I see it with that stick Stacy guy too.
Kelly
He blames
says
everyone else, but
Misty, the best thing that Brandon can do is go talk to Ellie. And she
yes,
knows that. They actually argue about it. She knows that, trust me.
we get in arguments about it. Like, I know. Like, how do you think I got him to talk to Samantha?
Yeah, and I appreciate that, because he hasn't said anything to anybody, since he did that JLR interview. So, and he got up and he talked about July 27th, 2021. That was the day that Michael was abducted in Fruitland in his neighborhood. And, he spoke about his day, his timeline. There, yes, was questions he didn't want to answer at the time, but
Because he wasn't sure of the answer, like, about the kids. He has no, like, not the kid, Michael. My bad.
thank you.
It's been the subject, but I call it that because I have to watch it because of, yeah, my life is a number.
Yeah,
Anyways,
and law enforcement was telling, or not law enforcement, attorney had already told him not to even get up on any panels and talk to anybody or anything. So the fact that he
that
came
was
up,
after
after, okay.
he got told, so he did get told not to talk, but he did do it because I wanted him to. I wanted people to hear his side, because
Right.
everyone has a side to their story. It doesn't matter who you are. In a situation, it's two ways. It's not one way. Two.
Yes, the Misty has heard the allegation that Brandon duct taped Michael. I actually
Yes,
asked her about that earlier, and go ahead, you can tell again what you already have said.
yes. I did hear Stacy, but Stacy, half of the stuff that comes out of Stacy's mouth is a lie.
And we know he lies about everything. We don't know if anything that, you know,
How
Stacy has done is true, except for giving the tip that Michael was in the Wanderer's yard, because there is evidence that he was in the Wanderer's yard. There is evidence to prove that he was moved. And, that Michael is deceased, and that is heartbreaking. There's
oh Lord.
several people that are in here, because I'm just going to say this, and I know you know this. So there are a lot of people that believe that Brandon knows where Michael is now. There is a lot
Yeah,
of
I
people
know.
that believe that Brandon is the one who moved Michael. So there's a lot of comments in here right now.
I
How do
know.
you feel about the fact that people think that Brandon knows where Michael is?
To be honest, they're wrong. I don't see him knowing where Michael is. I can see Stacy's pulling your guys' leg, and I'm pretty sure he's the one that did the duct tape, or Sarah, because I heard that about it. Like, if I didn't know Stacy since 2014, and I didn't know how he was and how he, ugh, I would be totally different in the subject, but I have known Stacy since 2014. He actually got one of my homegirls in trouble before me.
You are a little bit muffled. Somebody's pointing it out. I can hear you. Is she so muffled that you guys can't hear her?
I'm sorry. See, technology and me do not work. I think I am flat telling you this. Me and technology sucks.
That's fine. You're back. I hear you. You're not muffled. Callie says,
Oh,
how
you
does
guys were in my sweatshirt. My bad. I was laying down.
Kelly says, how does Misty feel about the dogs hitting on the Wanderers' yards and at Brandon's mom's house?
To be honest, I didn't like the fact, but they have not found nothing. So I'm still believing, and I'm a faithful person, and deep down I know I don't think Brandon did it. I think Stacy and Sarah got mad and is trying to blame him because she didn't get pregnant with his kid.
Brandy's here in chat right now. She says, I am thankful that Brandon is going to speak with LE. I believe LE knows the truth.
Absolutely. And I pray for you, Brandy, and I'm so sorry. And oh my God, my heart goes out to you. And I like your girl's essay, by the way. It made Brandon cry, by the way, and it made me tear up. It was beautiful. She did a lot, and she had a lot of trauma to go through. And man, it brought a light. It brought a light to me.
Yeah, thank you, Brandy, for coming in and saying hi. I know you're not feeling good, hon, but thank you so much for coming in. Everybody has been praying for you. We know you've had a rough week, and you know, I know how grateful you were that Brandon came in and talked, and you know that he is saying that he's going to go in and talk with law enforcement. Oh my goodness. So Brandy just got done saying, well, she scored 100% on that paper today. Go blue. That's
Go
great.
blue! Yay, yay! It's
That's
beautiful.
awesome. And then Kelly said, but Brandon was with them that night, correct?
But I know, yes and no. So I do know he did leave that night. I'm not sure where. From what I understood, was his mom's, because he told me he had to get away from them for a minute.
Right.
So I don't know. I do know I am praying and hoping, and I'm hoping everything is going to get taken care of and the right people are going to get blamed, because I feel Brandy's for Little Monkey, Michael. I think it's so cool that I have his birthday. I think I connected with him on that, though.
DZ Primetime wants to know, who did Brandon need to get away from? Who are you saying that he needed to get away from that night?
Polly, Stacy, Sarah, and Adrian. Because I know he didn't like Adrian from the get-go. He was not a big fan of Adrian.
Oh, yeah, he's never really spoken to me at all about Adrian.
He's not a fan of Adrian.
Z
Or this
says,
other guy, actually. I can't remember. He's got a weird name. It starts with an S, maybe?
Caesar?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, Caesar Dorado. Yeah, he was another RSO. Z here has a question.
What's up?
It says, so he towed the vehicle that night and then left again by himself after? It said,
I have
just
no idea.
sorry, just
To be
asking to
honest,
clarify.
to be honest, I don't know his, like, I made him think of that same day, because I told him he needs to get his words out about what happened. And
So he told you that when he was describing to you that day and what he did and all that?
Yeah, just everything that day. And he goes back and forth. He's just like me on the back and forth part.
Right.
So, like, he does get his times mixed up. I have noticed that about him.
Okay. I'm just going through chat and seeing if there's any more questions.
Yeah, I gave up on looking. It's all popping up, but my
Are
eyes
you
are hurting
on?
to read.
Okay, here's another question. Hi, Misty. Did he have a lot on his mind?
Oh boy, yes. He did have a lot because, well, it wasn't just that. It was just also because me and his best friend from here, two different people I don't talk about, were on his case too, trying to tell him what to do, when to do it. So
Here's
he was kind of
another.
stressed.
Yeah. And me and you have talked about this before. So somebody wants to know if you think that he is the one on that video walking, in that picture walking.
Absolutely not. It doesn't even look like him. And back then, if you look at this guy, is a lot skinnier than Brandon. And there's more tattoos than on Brandon. Brandon's only got 2 tattoos, and one's very small. And one's an anchor,
Before
I
I lose
believe.
this comment, sorry. Yeah, I
Good
know
luck.
you said that you didn't believe that it was Brandon, that Brandon doesn't have tattoos. I can't see tattoos in the picture when I look at it. You and I have gone over this.
Yes, we have. Because I
We've
have
talked about
squared
that
in.
actually a lot. Brandy says here, she says, all I have to say, whoever is a blood donor, God bless you. Justice is coming for Michael. Have a great week, everybody.
Absolutely, justice is coming for him, and it's getting closer and closer. But like I said, I am getting him on the process of going in and talking to LE. So,
Mhm.
as Brandy, as soon as that happens, I'm pretty sure you will know. And I
Yeah.
hope you get clarified or clear. What is it? That word, clear,
Clarity.
or what is it? Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Yeah. No problem. Did you know that Brandon, and I'm just going to mention this because I know you say like Brandon has no tattoos. Do you know that Brandon used to like write all over his arms and legs and like,
No, I didn't. I did find that out too. And I
yeah,
asked him and questioned him. But if you look in that video for one, or that picture, the person's too skinny.
yeah. I mean, these are,
He's
I
not in
had,
skin and bones anymore. Maybe when he was like 17 he was, because he showed me a picture when he was 17. And
yeah,
when he
these
was
are,
hanging out with Stacy and Sarah, so the pictures I got,
mhm,
Stacy and Sarah, he had muscles and he's not skinny like the photo in the the photo
yeah,
of that person. And also, if you squirm in like I did and my kids, so I had my kids because my kids have good eyes. Okay, they even say that's not Brandon because the beard doesn't match him and the skinniness.
everybody knows that I've always been on the fence about it. I'm not 100% sure that it is, and I'm not 100% sure that it's not. I know that Brandon wears shirts that are cut down low underneath his armpits and shorts and has a hat like that and everything else. But yeah, I've never, you know,
If you
I've
put two
never
and
said one
two,
way or another.
yeah, but if you look at the photo that they have, and then the other photo of the time that he was hanging out with Stacy and Sarah, you can see the difference in the weight,
Mhm.
the bigger size.
Yeah, and I mean, and a lot of people do believe that it is Brandon. We know that.
I know they do. Trust me, I've been hearing about it since they found out I was dating him and that I was pregnant. But now, guess what, everyone? I'm not pregnant and it hurts me. But at the same time, I am grateful But
Mhm.
at the same time, losing twins is not a good feeling.
Were you aware? I don't know if this comment is true or not. I'm just going to say that because I haven't heard it for myself. But are you aware? Somebody here says that Josh is from the lab. He's another creator here on YouTube. Said that Brandon told him that that was him in that picture.
Isn't that the JDL guy?
No, that's JLR. Josh is from the Lab After Dark and the Lab. He's actually a really good creator on here, one of my favorites to watch. I
Really,
don't know if
because
that's true or not, but I will find out and then I will let you know because I would
well,
like to.
when I got that picture, by the way, I sent it immediately to fucking Fudging Brandon. Excuse my French, everyone. And he said it wasn't him in all capitalized. Not me.
Brandon did not want to help get Sarah pregnant. He actually has told Misty that he didn't do anything with her, even after Stacy and Sarah
Only
asked.
one thing.
Yeah, and you've already said, but let's not say that again because it might YouTube might not.
I know. But yes, I have told you guys that from Brandon is kind of picky. Like, we're alike, and I'm picky, so I kind of understand about the situation. And I wouldn't see Sarah the best looking girl in my life.
Yeah. Why is that? Hold on. No, I didn't want to do that.
Oh, now
I
you're
ex
having trouble with technology.
Yes, I accidentally just banned somebody and I
Oh
didn't mean
no,
to.
Samantha.
Yeah, I didn't mean to do that.
You and technology, me and technology. Thank God it was not me.
I'm gonna have to fix that after live, so if somebody accidentally got banned, it was an accident, I swear. Oh, boo. How do I fix that? If any of my mods see that, and if you can fix it, can you remove that? Because I did not mean to. It was DC Prime Time. I did not try to ban her. I'm so, so sorry.
Hey, so,
Let's not talk
some,
crap about other creators in my life. Bye bye. See you later. People are
I'm
coming
not.
in to start drama now, so.
Okay, so I am reading a
Oh no,
message.
she's back.
So,
Thank God.
so
Sorry.
does Misty know that Brandon was messaging that he was going? Come on, Bear. That he was going to shoot them. Yeah, that's because when so Stacy, I do know that when Stacy was asking him where he put the body, he freaked out because he didn't know what he was talking about. But I didn't see the shoot part. Seen what the fuck are you Fudgy talking about and all that other stuff, but I have not seen that shoot part.
I'm not seeing a lot of any questions anymore. People are just kind of like talking about their own opinions and stuff, and everybody's allowed
Oh,
to have their own opinion. So,
absolutely. We have a mouth for a reason.
yep.
It's
I
called
know
freedom of speech.
you and I have both talked about that. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Misty doesn't get mad at other people for having an opinion. She just doesn't think that Brandon abducted Michael and that she believes it, and until she is given, evidence
Guilty.
or proof that that's what that's what her belief is, and we're not going to try to steer her belief another way. We're just
Okay,
here to let Misty talk.
hey
So
Samantha. So I'm reading this message. Someone asked me, how do I have so much trust in Brandon? To be honest, I have, I, like I said, I'm kind of different. I go off of vibes. I go off of the, the more vibes than anything, to be honest. I feel like, and my gut and everything on that. Um, I trust him because I know he's been honest with me. and I can tell when he's already lying. And
Mhm.
plus, on top of it, I was able to talk to both parents of his. You don't see many people getting to talk to their partner's
Right.
parents.
Yeah. And another question here. Stacy and Brandon text messaged each other about Michael, or did I misunderstand that?
Okay, so on the don't go off. Don't go off. Okay, I accidentally pushed the button to go off the screen. So yes, that from messages and videos from other people on different YouTubers and stuff has done messages between Stacy and Brandon, and I read Stacy asked Brandon where he put the kid's body, and Brandon's like, "What the f are you talking about? Are you crazy?" He went off on Stacy.
When did Stacy message him that?
I don't know. I just know it was on one of the videos.
It was on a video?
Yes, like I said, I know a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know that.
So I really am trying for Michael.
Yeah.
I really am. No matter what, Brandon's like one of the suspects right now, and he is kind of ish my partner ish right now. We're kind of not on that rocky. We're not rocky, but we're on the dirt road, a bumpy
Right.
road.
But it wasn't a message that you saw that might like
No,
Stacy
no, it was
and
just on.
Brandon going back with each other. It was something that was on a video that you saw.
Yes, that's the only thing I have seen.
Okay. I'm just trying to clarify. So I thought I heard somebody in the
Oh,
background saying something about a video, and I was just like, what? Is somebody there with you?
no, it's just me.
Oh,
Well, my auntie's in her room, and my dog is here. You might have heard him whining.
oh. Yeah, I thought I heard somebody talking or something.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I'm not really seeing a lot of more questions. Do you have more time? Are you on a time limit or anything? Or
I'm not on no time limit. I told you I'm free. It would be a whole different story if I was at the other house.
right, because you're at your auntie's. Toaster just posted in chat and says, has Brandon talked about his family's previous cemetery to you? Did he go there a lot?
I do know about the cemetery, and I do know I don't know about that. And I found out his family's got land, so I don't know.
Okay. Callie
And
wants to
I've talked
know.
to his grandma, and I have talked to his grandma. I've talked to his mom. I have talked to his dad. I, I'm talking to everyone, and trust me, what's going on now? Guys are going to be impressed because, yeah, I can't say much, but it's
Right.
looking good on Brandon's case. Just put it that way.
Callie wants to know if that was on Stacy's interrogation video that you saw him texting with Brandon.
I have no idea. I just know I watched a lot of videos about that guy. I haven't had no contact with him until December, or like a year ago. Sorry, you guys. So my
You're
throat,
fine. Bless you.
my neck, no. So I just choked. My neck has a big problem. So I can't wait for major surgery, but I'm super scared. I feel like that's gonna be my deathbed. So I'm pushing it off and off and off.
Oh God, I'm sorry. So you choke sometimes when you're eating or something?
Oh yeah, I can't swallow food anymore. Like I have to eat soft, like smoothie wise, mashed potatoes, yogurt.
Oh wow.
Like I can't have chicken. I can't have hamburger. I can't. Yeah, it's a number.
No, she said she didn't see the text messages herself. She said she saw it on a video.
Yes, I did say that.
You saw the text Oh, okay.
No, the video.
Right. Has Brandon talked about the trafficking of people going on at the Wanderer's house? Has he talked to you at all about any kind of human
Yeah,
trafficking or anything?
he said that there was kind of a lot of traffickers coming in, but not like trafficking like that. But
Well,
he
thank
said
you,
that it
DC
was a lot of
Crime.
traffic.
Yeah, but he has talked about human trafficking, you're saying?
No, I said he hasn't talked about that kind of
Oh,
trafficking. He's talked about traffic coming in and out.
like lots of people coming and going in the house?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you, DC Primetime, for the super chat. She wants to know, how does Misty feel about the vibes from Stacy? And before you answer that question, we have to do a little dance in our seat because we got a super chat. Thank you for being super. Thank you for being here. I can't do this without everyone's support, so I really do appreciate that, DC Primetime. So again, the question was, how does Misty feel about the vibes from Stacy?
Just I don't like it. Him. When my mom's the same way as me. So she's seen him pick up a car that I could not get to move. All, and it was a clutch and it was stupid. Every time I got going, it died as soon as I went into gear. So Stacy came and picked up the car, and she got red flags. And I kind of got a red flag at first, but I don't really like. I have learned in the past to listen to my red flags. To be honest, I have
Right.
been through a lot, so I just at that time I didn't listen to my red flags.
Do you think Stacy's capable of
Oh yeah,
harming a child?
oh yeah, oh yeah.
So that's your
I
opinion
think
on
he's
it.
straight up capable. He's
Yeah,
twisted.
I know you've told me you think he's a monster. Was he ever around your kids?
He tried to meet my youngest and my son. My youngest said not happening and walked away
Oh, wow.
because my son goes off of vibes too. It's so weird, but
Still
this
the
is when they were younger. My kids were still young.
Yeah, her mom did not like Stacy. She's known Stacy since 2014, and Stacy has met her mom. They were friends back in the day. Did you and Stacy date each other back in 2015?
No,
I was just asking. It is a rumor going around, and I have never asked you,
Lord,
but
no.
I mean, there was talk that you and Stacy used to be a thing.
No, absolutely. Hell to the no.
Kelly wants to know, did Brandon ever talk to you about Adrian and if he went to help with the tow that night of Michael's abduction?
So, like I said, we really didn't talk about Adrian. All I know is about where he said, pretty much I know that he got dropped off with his kid for a little bit. And that's all I knew.
Yeah.
You, so I, I can, I, I haven't really seen or been around Brandon. So like I started getting him to open up a lot more when he was around me. So it's kind of hard doing it on the phone now.
Yeah. And DC Primetime says your son got bad vibes from Stacy? Question mark.
Yes. Yes.
Do you want to, like, what kind of bad vibes?
He just told me he didn't like me and I didn't need to be around him.
Oh, okay.
Or he didn't like him, not me. Oh my god. Ugh.
I'm just letting you guys know I'm going to start deleting comments if you guys are not going to be respectful to Misty. Coming at her sideways.
Because
Yeah, coming at her sideways in chat is not okay with me. So
I'm
be
just
nice.
gonna say something right now. Dude, if you don't like me, then that's on you. I am me, and I'm straight up on this. And if you, like, I just don't know what else to say, that's on you, not me. And if you want to come at me sideways, that just shows your personality and your true colors.
Well, I just don't want people, you know.
But that's how I am.
I know you are. Chat just needs to stay respectful, please. I would really appreciate it.
I'm just saying, when people come at you sideways, that just shows their true color.
Misty is Brandon's ex-girlfriend. That is who Misty is.
Ish.
Ish?
Ish. We're still
Ex-ish?
trying to work. Yeah, we're still
Right.
trying to work it out.
Yeah, I'm not really seeing any new questions.
I see it blow up. I see it going up and going up and going up and going up.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for more questions. So we've almost been live for like 2 hours, so I'm still going to take questions for like another 5 minutes. If you guys have any other questions that you want to ask Misty, you know, do so now. And then we're probably going to hop off. And I'll be doing another live soon to talk about some more stuff. So yeah, I'm really glad that everybody's here, and majority have been very
yes, my kids like Brandon. They loved Brandon. Actually, my youngest was super nice to him, which is awkward. And he vibed and listened to him, and my kids loved him. Like I said, I don't see him harming a kid or doing anything bad to a kid like that. I just seen one of the messages.
Just to go over everything for the new people that are coming on, Misty is here. Her and Brandon are on the rocks a little bit right now, so I don't know to say whether they're boyfriend and girlfriend or not. But anyway, they're going through a rocky period. She is here to talk about the fact that law enforcement from Fruitland and the state's prosecutor from Idaho with the sheriff from Livingston, Montana, showed up at Misty's doorstep to talk to Misty about Brandon, to try to get her to put them in contact with Brandon, but Brandon was out of town, and they were there to offer Brandon, a plea.
Now you got the tongue twisters like me.
You would not believe how many times I call Brandy or Brandon Brandy. Like, I do it all the time. But to offer Brandon a plea deal, to sign the plea deal and get the death penalty taken off of a first-degree murder charge that he did not sign. And this is Misty's point of view. This is what she is telling us that happened. I just have to kind of put that out there as a disclaimer. I'm not calling Misty a liar here. I'm just saying
I don't lie. I can't lie.
I can't verify any of this because I am not privy to plea deals informations. So, you know, we're going by what Misty has said. And I just will say this. She's not the only person that has told me that this has happened. I have talked to other people. So I am pretty sure this all went down. Just letting everybody know.
And next time I'll have my son even tell you guys. How about that? So you guys
we don't want to put
actually
the kids up on the camera.
my son would be like, yeah, they came asking for my mom.
So yeah, for anybody that knows, Brandon is gone out of town.
Kindness in Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon is Brandon is out of town. He talked to his mom after this plea deal situation came about. His mom got him an attorney. He's talked to that attorney. He has told Misty that he plans on going to Fruitland to talk with law enforcement, and that is what Brandon and Misty have spoke about. That's one of the things that they argue about, is that Brandon needs to go talk to law enforcement because he says he didn't abduct Michael. He didn't harm Michael in any way. And Misty wants him to go clear his name. If that is true, he needs to go clear his name with law enforcement. And he has said that he's going to do that and go talk to law enforcement with his attorney and with his mom. So, yeah. Hair Curlers in Crime is my moderator, and thank you for being here. And she says, thank you, Misty, for speaking with us tonight. And there's a lot of other people thanking you. And then a person is asking, have you heard Ellie mention other names other than the 4 suspects?
I haven't heard it from Brandon, but I have done some research on my own because I'm trying to find Michael for Brandy, because I know how it is. I don't know how it is, but I can imagine. And I just want to help her out.
Yeah. And Juniper here is saying, we appreciate anyone coming forward. People are entitled to their own feelings and opinions about who they think is guilty and involved. Keep saying prayers for Monkey. Well, hun, I'm not seeing a lot of more comments and stuff coming in, so I'm gonna let you go, and then I'm gonna put up a flyer of Monkey and talk for a little bit. And I just want to thank you again for coming, for speaking to everybody, for answering questions. I really appreciate everything that you're doing for Monkey, you know, talking with Brandon and telling him that he needs to clear his name and go to Fruitland, because if he has not done anything, if he has no knowledge or no involvement, then that's exactly what he needs to do, is talk to law enforcement. And you're one of those people in his life that, you know, has reiterated that several times. Like I said, you guys get into arguments about it. So
yes, we do. And it's not that we get in arguments over it. He just doesn't, like, he's scared because he's getting pointed at a finger that he didn't do anything. And so it backs him up, and it's been hanging over him since this happened. So, like, you even talked to him and you could tell. And, like, it's just a number. And he's coming forward. Finally, you guys, he's coming forward. That's all we got to go by right now.
yeah,
I finally
and I
got him to
really,
talk to Samantha, and now the attorney with the cop, LEs.
yep. And, you know, I just want to see him follow through with it. Like, follow through with it, Brandon. If you're listening, if you're here, because I know he, you know, watches my channel and stuff. So I really just want to see him do that. Like, do what he says he's going to do. Because when he says he's not guilty, when he says he hasn't done any of this, and he doesn't try to clear his name, then it makes me second guess Brandon, you know, and his motives. Like, if you haven't done anything, why aren't you going to go talk to law enforcement? I know
Well,
he's
you
scared.
know why.
Yeah.
Well,
I
you
know
also know the other story.
Yeah.
What just
He
happened.
he's very scared. You know, so,
He's trying, you guys, he's really stepping a lot from when it first happened. He's
yeah,
definitely stepping up.
I believe
And
that
that's
Brandon
what
will feel
matters.
better. No, Misty, I do not believe knows Randy Strickland, because she wasn't around when Michael disappeared. That whole,
I wasn't in Idaho. I've been to Idaho once, and that was Mountain View for more than 12 hours. Or Mountain Home, my bad. Mountain View's in Missouri.
yeah. Yes, if they came up a month ago, he needs to talk to LEASAP. Yeah, because they told Brandon, like, if you don't want to sign this or whatever, like, indictments are coming and you're gonna have, you're gonna get arrested for first-degree murder.
Yes, and he is going to talk soon. I just keep on have to push him and pushing him because I'm the only one that has gotten him to actually talk since this has happened. And he's
Sick.
been sober to be on top of it. He doesn't really drink, he doesn't really smoke, he doesn't really do much anymore.
Yep. Yeah, he seems like he's, trying to do, trying to be a good person right now and stay clean and stop drinking and all those things. So he just needs to go talk to law enforcement. And I hope everything works out for you. Again, I'm really sorry to hear about the miscarriage and stuff. That's really heartbreaking. And I know you've had a really rough week. So I really do
3
appreciate you
weeks.
coming up. Huh?
Remember, the 26th is when that happened.
What happened?
When my mom fell and dislocated both shoulders
Oh, okay.
and the heart. And yeah,
Yeah. I know you've had a rough few weeks, but I was talking about the miscarriage itself. Like this last week's been horrible for
oh
you. Like I told
yeah,
you
for
yesterday, I was
me.
shocked that you even, that you and I even had a conversation about you coming up live. So I
I
just
was
appreciate
on
you.
a panic mode about it, but I was like, you know what? That's my word. Everyone needs to hear my side
Yep.
because everyone has a side. It doesn't matter. Everyone has a
Um,
side to tell.
DC Prime Time says, God bless you, Misty. I think you have the key to helping Brandon through this. So yeah. Brandon could have the pieces to the puzzle and really help Michael. So it's so important for him to go to LE. We all thank him for doing the right thing in advance.
Yes, I'm very
And
proud of him. One step at a time, but it's going.
all right. Well, thank you so much, Misty, for coming up. I hope you enjoy the
You're
rest of your
welcome.
weekend, hun. And yeah, if you have any questions or anything, you can message me and we'll keep in contact.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Have a
All
good
right.
night,
Bye,
honey.
you guys. Thank you, you guys. And you guys are more than welcome for talking. I thought you guys should hear my side. And I am grateful for everyone, even the negative comments and sideways comments. But I don't do sideways or negative.
Right? Yep. Bring
So
Michael
I'm
home.
just saying. Um, but I am doing the best I can. I'm trying to help as much as I can. I only can go so far to helping.
Well, everybody's thanking you and stuff, so I'm praying.
Well, anyways, have a good night, you guys.
Have a good night, Misty. Thank
I
you for
gotta go
coming.
check up on my auntie.
All right, honey. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Thank you guys so much. The majority was very respectful, and I appreciate that. Like I said, she had an awful week. Having a miscarriage is not easy, and it's very an emotional thing. Like I said, could not believe that we even discussed having a live and talking about information. But once I was given permission, things just kind of went. So, another thing to let everybody know is I have been speaking with Dan Guthrie, and him and I have talked about him coming up on a live also. And if you guys don't know who Daniel Guthrie is, he is Brandon's ex-employer and a friend, long time friend. Dan has known Brandon since he was about 15 or 16 years old. He's known Brandon's dad and family for about 20 years. So I will be speaking with Dan and making sure that that's still a go and putting up a thumbnail for that. So please make sure that you are clicking that notification bell, subscribing to get that notification, and hopefully he is coming up to talk more about law enforcement coming to Montana. And then there's going to be even more information coming out after that. Next weekend, I will be leaving and going to the beach. So I'm trying to pump out as much information as I possibly can before Wednesday of next week. So like I said, make sure you have subscribed and click that notification bell. So has Brandon ran to his daddy again with the hot tub? I know he's been in contact with his dad. I know he's been in contact with his mom and stuff. Like I just got done saying, like Misty just got done saying, he contacted his mom and talked to his mom and dad after he was offered this plea deal. And, yeah. His mom helped him get an attorney. Z, didn't Brandon say he spoke to LE and has tried since as well? Did Brandon say he spoke to LE and has tried since as well? I don't understand what question you're asking. Can you rephrase the question, because I'm just not understanding that, or my brain isn't just wanting to pick up on it. I believe Brandon did. Okay, I do understand what you're saying. Yes, Brandon has told me that he spoke with LE. He has told me that he has an attorney. So I am able to verify on Brandon's end. Misty wanted to get up here. She wanted to tell her story because a recording was put out, and then she has new information in Michael's case moving, and there being movement in Michael's case, and that's one of the reasons why this live even happened. I would have done this live without Misty, but I am very thankful that she came up to talk about it. Otherwise I would have been talking about it, and I like the public to know exactly what's going on. I want you guys to believe me. I mean, I don't put out false information either, but when she's up here and she's speaking about how law enforcement come, it just really verifies the fact that Ellie went to Montana, and there is movement in Michael's case. Law enforcement feels like they have enough evidence to charge Brandon with first-degree murder. And so they offer this plea deal to him that, you sign this plea deal, we'll take the death penalty off the table. So he didn't sign it, which means if he doesn't go down to Fruitland and clear his name and talk with law enforcement, an indictment is going to come. He is going to get arrested, and he is going to be charged with first-degree murder. And then it's going to be up to him and his family and lawyer to get him off of those charges if he's not guilty of the charges. We have heard Stacey Wandra talk about, Brandon duct taping Michael in his mom's house. We also know that Stacey Wandra lies. I don't stick up for Brandon. Okay, but what I am here to do is to listen to everyone. Listen to Brandon, listen to Misty, talk about the facts in the case. And the facts are that there are 4 suspects in Michael Vaughn's abduction and murder. And those 4 suspects are Stacey Wandra, Sarah Wandra, Adrian Lucian, and who? Brandon Shurtliff. And if Brandon has any information about Michael's whereabouts, about his abduction, about his murder, about where Michael is right now, then Brandon needs to talk to law enforcement about those things. And if he isn't guilty of anything, he still needs to talk to law enforcement and tell law enforcement what he does know, or clear himself, have an alibi, say something. I know that Brandon is scared. I know that Brandon is scared. I can tell by the way he's been messaging me lately that he's scared. So if anybody has a tip about Michael's abduction, about his murder, please call the Fruitland Police Department tip line at 208-642-6006 or email findmichael@fruitland.org. Monkey was abducted July 27th, 2021, Michael Joseph Vaughn. He was abducted from his neighborhood very close to his home after wandering away from his home, walking around the neighborhood to look for a friend to play with that day. Daddy was ordering pizza, changing the baby's diaper, and waking the baby up, and took his eyes off Michael for a very short period of time, and Michael wandered out of the house. Michael was seen by several neighbors by himself, and we know that nobody was with Michael. Michael was wandering around the neighborhood. And during that same time, there were monsters in the neighborhood that decided that they were going to abduct this young boy, Michael, who was wandering around the neighborhood. It's very disturbing circumstances here. This live is to bring awareness for Monkey, but mainly to just let people know there is movement. Law enforcement's not messing around. They have their eyes set on 4 suspects: Stacy and Sarah Wandra, Adrian Lucian, and Brandon Shurtliff. And their eyes are focused. It's set. The DA has already told the Vaughn family that they already have charges written up and that indictments are coming. They get one chance to do this. The prosecuting attorney in the DA's office has one opportunity to make sure that they go down for what they've done to Michael. And that means that they have to make sure they have everything. All of the paperwork, everything done, so that they can do these indictments and move forward, because it is a no-body case. Michael has not been found. Law enforcement doesn't know where Monkey is right now. And we know Michael deserves justice. We know the family needs peace, wants peace. They're what-ifing everything. We know that Brandy is super sick right now. She's fighting for her life every single day, and they've suffered enough, and now they're suffering even more with Brandy's illness. I mean, it's been an ongoing battle for 1,355 days. And it's time for anybody that has a tip. Please let law enforcement decide whether or not your tip is credible, and call Fruitland Police. Tip line 208-642-6006, or find Michael at fruitland.org. No tip is too big or too small. Please let law enforcement decide. But the movement, I'm excited that there's movement. That was exciting. And it's been over a month since this, movement started. And there's so much other movement that I'm finally able to start putting out and talk about. So really want you guys to stay tuned, keep listening. I'm working with the Vaughn family. I'm working as hard as I can to provide new information in Monkey's case that comes out, because there hasn't been a lot of new information, except for that we know there are 4 suspects, updated January 10th, of 2025. J.D. Huff still says that these are the 4 suspects: Sarah and Stacy Wandra, Adrian Lucian, and Brandon Shurtliff. And thank you, Lynn, for coming in. I really appreciate you. I cannot do this without all of you. So you know, as sad as it is, I do get excited to be able to bring new information. You know, and when new information and there is new movement in the case, that helps the family, you know, lighting a fire within them to keep fighting for Michael every time they know that there's movement. And the same with the public. You put out that new information. Sorry, Misty, if you're listening, I can't answer yet. I'm still on my live. She was trying to call me, but yeah, as long as there's movement in the case, like, we just need that movement, and that's exciting to put out. It lets the public know that law enforcement is doing everything they can, you know. So yeah, we just have to hope and pray to God that one of the suspects finds it within their heart to talk to law enforcement. We want to make sure. I can't talk, honey. Let me hold on a second. I need a message. I'm still live on. Just want to let her know I'm not ignoring her to ignore her. But I will call her when I'm over. You know, do I think that Brandon has any involvement? I think he has knowledge of something, but I'm not sure what that knowledge is. That's my opinion on it. Yeah, I know a lot of people have asked me, you know, before, like when I did the live with Brandon, what my opinion on Brandon was. And I believe he has some knowledge of something. I'm not sure what it is. And I think he's terrified to talk about it. Do I have any proof that he has any knowledge? No. But I believe in law enforcement, and I believe in the Vaughn family, and law enforcement says that there is evidence in Michael's abduction and Michael's murder, and they have named 4 suspects, and Brandon Shurtliff is one of them. And I believe in law enforcement. And J.D. Huff said that Brandon and Adrian Lucian have knowledge. And that's why I stand with that statement of Brandon, I feel like, has some kind of knowledge. I don't believe that the state's prosecuting attorney and, you know, a detective from Fruitland would go all the way up to Montana to serve Brandon with a plea deal unless there is something that they know. And they did tell Misty that they had evidence, but they didn't tell Misty what that evidence was. So when they're saying they got evidence, it makes me really curious, like, what evidence do they have? But they're saying that they have it. So I'm putting my faith into law enforcement because I want justice for Michael, just like everybody else. Exactly, Halo. If Brandon knows anything, you know, I pray also that Brandon comes forward with information. Let me see. Thank you, Sarah, for putting it up, because I did not say this. Any tip that does come in, like, there's a over $52,000 reward for any information leading to Michael. And you can also remain anonymous. Again, that tip line phone number is 208-642-6006, or you can email findmichael@fruitland.org. Let law enforcement decide if your tip is credible or not. Just call in the tip. If you don't want to email or call and you live in the area, you can always walk into the Fruitland Police Department and talk with them. You know, they would love to have you there, love to see you and talk to you. But as always, I appreciate you all for coming, supporting the Vaughn family, being here. We are Monkey's Army. We are not going anywhere. We're not going to stop. We're not going to stop asking questions. We're not going to stop researching. We're not going to stop digging. And I know a lot of people had questions about where Brandon is. Don't think that law enforcement doesn't know exactly where Brandon is. Like, if they went all the way up to Montana, they know where Brandon is. So, I just don't know if law enforcement knew that he had left town to go on a skiing trip and go work for a while. I've been involved with some shady Oh, I didn't. That went too fast. Yes, justice for Michael. Why is this? Something keeps messing up my chat here. Okay. What do the hot dogs represent? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I'm just wondering, Bish. I mean, what do hot dogs mean? I see the hot dogs pop up every time you come into chat. I have no idea what hot dogs is. I mean, is that an innuendo that I know nothing about? Oh. But, yeah, it was nice seeing Brandy in chat this evening too, you know, and know that she's watching still. She has been really sick, so that was great to see her here. And I'm just gonna say, right, Sarah, I'm laughing like I don't know what the friggin' hot dogs mean. Oh, goodness gracious. It's been a hard week. But yeah, it was nice to see Brandy in here. Just, you know, she's always watching. She's always around. We may not see her in chat too often, but she's always watching. And I'm always praying for her and wishing her the best. And, you know, she's been sick this last week, and she's very thankful for blood donors. So thank you guys all for coming, supporting me, supporting Michael, and most of all, you know, supporting the Vaughn family and just being here, and being an amazing chat. I love my Missing PNW chat. You guys are always so good and so respectful with the guests that come on. And yeah, I appreciate that, because when people aren't respectful, guests don't want to stay. And we want to hear from them. We want to know what's going on in Michael's case. And what better way than to have like that firsthand stuff, you know? We didn't know anything about Brandon getting, you know, a plea deal by law enforcement, that they actually went all the way. Oh, Spirit Seeker Squad, you were late. Here, I'll do it one more time. Law enforcement, the state's prosecutor, and the sheriff of Livingston went to Misty Miller's house. That's Brandon's ex-girlfriend, or ex-ish girlfriend, house. And they also visited several other places, and offered Brandon a plea deal. He did not sign it. Told him if he signed the plea deal that the death penalty would be taken off of the table, but he didn't sign it, and was told that first-degree murder charges were going to come. So that is the movement in the new movement in Michael's case. And yeah, he got an attorney. His mom paid for it, and he has spoken. He's even told me, he and Misty, that he plans on going to Fruitland. I'm on rerun now. I'm so anxious to hear this. Well, you can be on the replay crew, girlfriend. Thank you for coming in. So, yeah, that's what's going on. And they said they would come back and find him if they have to. So, I mean, and that's what I've heard from other people. So, anyway, click the notification bell because there's more coming this next week. I'm going to take tomorrow off. And, yeah, hopefully after I talk to Daniel Guthrie again this weekend and double check with him and make sure that he's coming live, I'll be able to put up a thumbnail. And when I do, we'll have somebody else to talk to about law enforcement's trip to Montana. Say some prayers for the Vaughn family. Say some prayers for Michael Vaughn. And let's put up Michael's beautiful face. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. And yeah, I will see you Monday.